sign them here. Find the rest of them. Selectmen's comments, Mr. Green.
We don't have it, so I am reviewing that ventilation estimate that he gave me, so I sent him back some questions. He sent me back one response, so he's looking into, different system that we use, the better filters. I think that was the big thing that I had from him, so I'm still waiting to hear back from him.
We were reviewing it down here before we sent it along to you, and we kind of thought we'd just go for the whole ball of wax.
Yeah.
Everything is
Yeah,
recommended.
well, so there's different levels of filter, and what I asked him originally is, and the reason I asked him about the other filter is it's better, there would be a better filter which includes, filtering out, I'm trying to think of what you call it, more virus-related things, things in, a better filter that would take care of, like, not just the regular stuff, but more. It's in line with the filters that I've seen what they put in the schools and other public places. And that's what they did, they converted it into
Are
system.
these filters something that have to be changed on a regular basis? or-
Yeah, any of the filters have to be changed on a regular basis.
And is that something we can do in-house, or do we have to have him come
No,
to change the
no,
filter?
I think we can do that.
Something the
You need mine,
handyman.
yes, yeah, and handy thing to it, we can get to it. So he's still looking, he's gonna find out what other, he said there may be a different, they have to have a different unit, but it should be somewhere in cost for this aspect. And it shouldn't take away from the, how much we'll do.
Thank you.
So the only thing we'd asked was, we assume they don't do the electrical.
I didn't ask him that, but I will.
So, and more than anything, that's just coordination, like how's that work or whatever.
Yeah,
But,
Yeah, if he doesn't do the electrical, we'd have to
right.
somehow coordinate it, have somebody here.
yeah,
What's his lead time? Did we get a sense of?
I forget what he told us, but not really far out. He
Yeah.
said not really far out,
No.
a few months, I think he said something like that. It wasn't like, next year, but late in the fall.
Great.
Okay. Allison?
So I got, I don't know if you remember, some years ago, we started, we coordinated with the other towns in the area, Rouseck, Bath, Georgetown, Phippsburg, West Bath, to talk about issues of aging. And we created age-friendly communities of the Lower Kennebec. We did a survey, which actually Woolwich had a great response from, and then we had listening groups or focus groups then, and came up with, so anyway, I just got 5 copies of these in the mail that just sort of talks about the whole area and some of the needs that came out, members of the, as well as members of the steering committee, and some of the things that they're planning to do to just sort of make the area more age-friendly, to use a term, so I'll just pass those. And we probably have to keep one in the office, just to have it, so. They're working hard, they're actually the group that's responsible, when we say they, I'm part of the steering committee, that put in the chess tables down in Elm Street Plaza, downtown Bath, and that was done in coordination with the Bath Tech students did that, and the city of Bath actually put them in place, and so I think that they're doing, I think we're doing some good things. It's trying to respond to folks' needs.
Anything else?
That's it.
Dale? Nothing. Jason?
All right, so Matt got the floats in down here. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the floats are in the lake, or at the park. Also, when the motion sensor got put up at the North Station, I don't know if you're aware of it, but I did text Sean. Frank, the electrician, texted Friday, and I don't know if you'll get any feedback or if you'll hear anything.
John will. He'll
Okay.
follow up on
All right, so hopefully that resolves that. The only other thing is, if the board doesn't object, I think Allison and I are gonna start working on the handout for town meeting for you guys
The
to,
cheat sheet, yeah.
the draft, or you're welcome, anybody's welcome.
That's
I
fine.
usually do it on a Sunday or something, and then we'll get a draft to you guys.
Oh, and actually related to that, did we tell the Spirit of America people who, the names of the people? You sent them to me somewhere and I can't find them.
So what I did is I reached out to Bob Turcott
Okay.
and told him, and then he sent some names, which
Okay.
I recognized
Did
some.
you text them? I can't.
I've got it in email.
Okay.
I'll email it to you.
Okay,
So, he said that, I sent the time and place and all that, and I guess he's gonna make sure that he and some are
okay,
present for town meeting, so they do know about it, or he knows about
yeah,
it.
but we need to contact the Spirit of America people.
I think you said, Kim, you did, right? Or didn't you?
No, I did not.
So the name needs to be, just the,
Just
So,
the
I just
Friends
need to
of
know,
the
Friends of the
Cemetery.
Nequasit Cemetery,
Yeah.
that's all you wanna put?
I think it's all you need to put for now, yep.
Alright, I'll
once we
let
do
him know
that-
tomorrow.
That's the other thing we need to work on, is
Yeah.
that presentation, but Allison's good at that too, but, that's it.
And I asked JC for names. I don't know if I'm gonna get any different ones than he's
Okay.
added.
Okay, thanks.
The only comment I have tonight is that I watched the tape of our meeting last week, and the communication committee needs to really buy a microphone and set it out there,
Okay,
okay? Because it might as well have been a pantomime show. I realize that I'm very hard of hearing, but I had other people in the room watching it with me, and they all said the same thing.
okay,
The only people we understood is when the camera turned to Brian, because he was sitting right next to the camera, and the fella from the Montswick restaurant.
yeah,
Those two were clear as a bell. But anything Jack said, or Glenn, or any of us up here,
yeah.
just
That had never in the history of the world has ever been said that they couldn't hear me. I can tell you that right now, that is a first.
well, when the camera swings your way tonight, look at the camera and smile
And
and
scream.
talk loud,
Yeah.
okay? But that's my only
Okay,
comment.
okay,
you
good.
know.
Well, we
So-
have money in the, in
Right,
ARPA.
so if you just got a remote microphone and set it right in the middle of the room or something.
Okay. Do we have anything like that? Yeah, okay. All right, we're on it.
Okay, public comments. Debbie, you anything you want to say to us?
What happened to Marla Davis?
I don't know. I sent her an email, she said she'd be here.
Okay.
Road Commissioner, Jack.
The 11th, the posters will be down, the posted roads that are frost affected. Frost is coming out quite well, the roads are in pretty decent condition. All the metal signs are up for the detour that we know of. So that should be helping when it happens.
That's the ones for no through trucks.
Right, yeah. So we should be in pretty good shape. I'm in the process of reaching paving people. I know prices have gone up, hot top has gone up, oil's gone up. But we do the best we can do. When I get closer to it, I'll let you know what we're thinking.
Okay, any questions for Jack? Brian?
Since the last meeting, there were 10 calls with a total of 11 patients. We transported 7 times. We responded to mutual aid for Wiscasset ambulance twice, once to Dresden, once to Westport, and we did not utilize mutual aid in the last 2 weeks. On one of our transports to Maine Med last week, Rescue 2 was the one that transported, and the reason that happened is being fixed so that Rescue 2 doesn't do the long transport, and Rescue 1 do the short transport again. On the way back at about mile 8 on 295, it popped another tire, and it was due for tires. It went up for tires yesterday. This morning. Scheduling, of course. It goes, pop another tire on the way. So they were able to limp it back to West Bath. We got tires got put back on it, tires got put on it, and then now it's up in Bangor getting the tires that you approved a couple weeks ago to get put on it. So that truck has been a pain when it comes to tires lately, but it'll all be straightened out soon. So that is that, and I have my bills and an apology, and I'll explain in a minute. This is called a binder lift. This is a new fancy tool. We demoed it for a month And I said, you know, that's really cool, we're gonna get two, and this is a back saver. This would unclip, I don't wanna take it completely apart, but as you see, there's color-coded buckles and everything to make sure it all goes together. This would get unbuckled, it would get slid underneath someone that is up flat on the floor, and we need to pick them up. There are many methods to make this happen. Excuse me, it's upside down. So you can see there's kind of leg straps and such, as we can see. There's handles throughout. It's a lot better than using a blanket. It's a lot better than reaching into someone's armpit and lifting them up. So I said, you know, yeah, that's really nice. We should get two, without looking at the final price on it. It's not bad. It's just I should have got a purchase order signed by you folks. So we're gonna have one on each truck. It's $1,470 for the two of them. That is with a discount, and it's, I'll pull that out of my donation account for that. So it's a significant back saver for our people to have something to properly lift people on. So my apologies for not reaching out and getting a final price on it.
So this is after the fact purchase order? No.
This
Yes,
is one of those forgiveness rather.
it's one of those, I'm sorry.
But both will be purchased from your donation account?
Yes, both are.
It's easier to get forgiveness than
Yeah.
permission, right?
Keep that in the back of your mind.
But really, it's the safety. I mean, okay, you guys know I threw my back out a few months ago, and anything we can do to help our people out.
And so where does that go? Like in the middle of your?
From here to
Okay.
I can see that bag around.
Yeah, obviously that's.
I had a question.
Absolutely.
Now that I see where Wiscasset is now taking over Alna, we have Wiscasset, we did mutual aid, so are we gonna do Alna, Wiscasset?
No,
We
we are
gonna do Alna,
only,
Dresden, Wiscasset, Westport Island, et
yes,
cetera?
southern half of Erin Bean, who's the director of Wiscasset, reached out to me today. She's asked me if we will continue for those three spots, south end of Wiscasset, Dresden, and Westport Island. And I have not responded to her through the course of many things, but if the board wants to have some comment on that, I'm certainly.
The town of Alna has a population of 700, we actually talked about this the other day, has a population of 700, and somebody said they do like 22
It's not
ambulance
many.
calls a year or something.
When I was at CLC, we had CLC had the contract, and I can tell you that I think I went to Alma twice.
How about Dresden now? Dresden,
Dresden's not fast as
Dresden's a big town
Dresden's about
geographically.
1,600 people.
And I really think with Dresden, they've been mostly utilizing us with 197 south. So from the bridge.
Yeah.
It's kind of drawing that line across. Yeah, not on the Pittston, I'm not going to Pittston. And I'll clarify that later, that we're not going that far. Because once we go to Pittston, then you start talking about Maine General as your transport hospital, and that's not our resource hospital.
Right, because not knowing much about it, the concern I would have is Wiscasset, and I get just about Alna being small, but Wiscasset extends their services, so
Right.
then even if we don't go to Alna, we have to extend our services, because obviously if they've got a call in Alna and they've got one in Dresden, then all of a sudden Woolwich becomes, I mean, I'm not, you know, I mean,
I think obviously that if they needed
Right.
assistance, you'd go,
Right.
but you wouldn't make a habit of
Right.
responding to Alna for ambulance calls. Somebody had mentioned that CLC was gonna back them up for Alna, I don't know whether that's true or not.
It probably is, but, I also think it's important to note that Wiscasset is an actual mutual aid partner. They don't send bills for us responding, for them coming into Wiscasset. And we do get used more than they do, we get used to go there more than they get used to come here.
right,
Um,
that would be,
But
that would be,
that's the nature of it, I guess.
okay, do you?
No, put them inside.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do. You wanna start?
We did hire, or I'm working on hiring a Bowdoin College student, that'll be here for the summer and might help out on the weekends too. I've gotta get Kim the application on it. But he's from Connecticut, he's 20, and already has his license, just has to get licensed up in Maine from Connecticut, so it'll help us out on the weekends this summer.
Cool.
So I might reach out to other, cause that's where I got my start, with some college EMS services, so I may reach out to some others and see if they have people that might be interested in helping us out this summer, just to give our crews a little bit of a break. Can't hurt.
Yeah,
So.
cool.
Before we go into the fire chief, did we get a report from the codes officer? I skipped over it, he's not here, okay, no report. Fire chief's report, Glenn.
So, since we last met, we've had 3 fire alarms. We had a pretty good MBA in front of Monchwick Restaurant. That was the transport to Maine Med for one of them. And today they went to Richmond for the gas tank underground explosion. I still haven't figured that out yet, but.
Right near the Quick Mart or the.
Exit 43, yeah.
Is that so
So-
close? That's my way home.
No, it's open now.
Is it now?
So,
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't understand that. And then we did one, we had a report of a fire in an abandoned house at some point in time in the last, we don't know how long, the fire marshal has no idea. They're still investigating that, when it could have happened, I don't think we'll ever know, but I'm working on trying to get the foreclosure people of the house to lock it down, because right now, you know, we have several houses in this town that are wide open, doors open, and I'm afraid they're gonna, you know, some of these kids are gonna get in there, start doing it, so. Other than that, that's about it.
Is that something the fire department, you guys have the authority to do, is to block them up? or-
I talked to the government this morning.
I mean, I'm not asking
Yeah,
safety.
I talked to the government this morning, and she, USDA, and she said, quote, "The state of Maine does not allow them to lock down a piece of property that they are foreclosing on."
Oh,
For some strange reason, and she was gonna email me the information. I told her that, if she needed anything from me, or wanted anything from the town, I would come to you at that point to discuss getting the house secured, because right now, it's not secured, and I think there's been squatters in there. I'm not gonna give the address at this point, but, Dale is aware, and Kim is aware, but.
There are several houses like that here in Woolwich. There's one on the Meadow Road that the front door.
We actually talked about that today. Kim and I talked about that today. You know, I have concerns for those, and they, you know, I actually talked to Adam Temple, is moving across the street. Adam and I talked about it the other day. You know, they probably we need to get in touch with these people, and the Meadow Road house, the taxes are being paid, but it's wide open. And, you know, if anybody gets in there, we're gonna have a significant fire going in these houses, and they at least nail the door shut. But, you know, I don't know what the requirement is for us to do that, but I'm waiting for a call from the attorney. He's gonna call tomorrow from USDA. He has some questions about that, and if we give him the okay to secure it or whatever they can do, they'll send somebody from Lewiston, and they'll lock the house down completely.
so they can do it.
I think they're gonna be able to do it because it's a hazard at this point.
Yeah.
And I, as the fire chief, I'm gonna make everything I can to make sure that gets locked down, because we've already had a fire in it.
Yeah.
So, you know, and thank God whoever,
So, is there electricity on in the house?
there's no electricity, but the stove, the kitchen was burned up really good. I sent pictures to Kim.
So it's a gas stove then?
No, somebody lit something on the stove. So.
You know, like a campfire.
There was actually a DeWalt drill and a flashlight that were completely dissolved. The only thing left of the drill was the electric motor, and the only thing left of the flashlight was the reflector. They burned right up. So we sent the sheriff in to verify if they're, you know, meth lab or, you know, any drugs anyway. But there's food on the counter, and the owner of the house has been gone for 4 years.
Wow.
So somebody's been in there staying because the food hadn't been eaten by the rats. So,
I was in there last summer looking at the place. I wasn't in it, I was looking through the back door, and everything was fine in there.
yeah, it is trashed now, I mean, all of them are. So the Meadow Road one is trashed also. I haven't been in, but,
And they've broken the windshield in the truck at the Meadow Road one.
yeah.
Thanks for
It's
looking
a
into
shame to
that.
have those assets.
So anyway, as soon as I get anything from the attorney at USDA, I'll pass it on, I'll send it to Kim, and she can email to you guys, if you wanna overstep the state and have them secure it, I think it's time we need to look into doing that, because apparently, USDA used to secure every property that they were gonna foreclose on. It's gonna be foreclosed on eventually. And because of COVID, they haven't been able to do anything for 2 years apparently. Again, I don't know anything about that, but.
I wonder if we shouldn't make a list of all the houses like that in town and send a letter out asking them what their intentions are doing. Because
I would 100% agree with that.
there's several houses in town, and the taxes are being paid, they're up to date on their taxes and everything, but the houses are just sitting there vacant, and, you know, they're an attractive nuisance.
Yeah.
They were aware it was vacant, they were not aware until when I sent her the picture, she went, oh my God.
Yeah.
So, she said, I said, this place needs to be secured, and obviously you can't stop somebody from breaking in, but, they're not taking care of their, of these residences, and they have people that's what they do, is go around and make inspections. Because they came to my house 6 times when I had a USDA loan, to make sure I was living there.
Yeah, wow.
And wasn't living with anybody else, or I didn't have squatters or renters or any of that stuff, so they have somebody from Lewiston who comes around and does all the inspections. So that would be, I assume, the person who would come secure the residence and then keep an eye on it.
Wow.
Well, one comes to mind, I don't know, you didn't touch on the mobile home on Meadow Road, right? Where the fire was?
No, that's one of them.
But I think on our side, with Bruce, I think, doesn't that fall under that ruins?
Well, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah, there was, all I noticed there, Meadow Road, where the fire was by Overload, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I mean, the doors blowed open, the windows blowed open, it's obviously a fire damage, right?
Yeah.
And so, we should be getting Bruce or somebody to follow up, I mean, we passed that whole, remember that whole language we had about, ruins and, I mean, I don't know what's going on there, they didn't have insurance, no insurance, obviously nobody lives there.
The last time I knew in that one, he was in the hospital in Boston, and he hadn't come back, that's why the stuff had been moved out. So,
All right, so just something to think about, I mean, not for you, but.
Okay.
Hey, well, before we leave this, how about Tony Moses' place? Is Lonnie looked in on that?
I didn't know it was vacant, is that
Oh,
vacant?
yeah.
It is, but I think I talked to, Edie's daughter, is that right? And they were there working the other day, I know that.
Okay.
Like,
So-
Tony's truck is moved.
Yeah.
It's moved across into Vance's parking lot.
Yeah.
On Friday, there were vehicles there, I was contacted by her last fall about, they don't know what they're gonna tear it down, or take it out, or put something in there, or they ended up acquiring it somehow, but I will say Friday, there was vehicles there. Good. And the door was, they were in there doing something.
The problem I have is, that's not an issue if somebody is actually watching the place,
Yeah, it's
and the
accurate.
windows aren't blown out, or the door's not left wide open, that's a different story. But these places are vacant for years at a time, that people who don't belong there are going in. Now, this one has been marked by the sheriff's department as suspicious, and they're gonna continue. The fire marshal is investigating the fire, but they're also gonna contact the executor and try to get in touch with him, and they've had no luck so far. So, again, it's a hazard, it's already half burnt. What's to make somebody go and go, hey, look, they started, let's finish it.
Yeah.
So, and then we've got, we've got a building burning and more mess for us.
There's 2 more on Seymour Road.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, obviously, but again, are they completely abandoned? So if there's nobody watching them, but their taxes are being paid, people need, well, we're not gonna do anything with it. Well, it's not necessarily a,
There's one right down there on George Road,
Yeah.
Bobby Allen's place.
oh yeah, well, that's another one, but,
Sitting there, the weeds have grown up past the height of the windows.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it obviously isn't being cared for, it is, the taxes are current on it,
Get the one up on the town line too.
Yeah.
yeah.
There's
We
we,
sold that.
we should make a list
Still
of
there.
everyone we know of and start.
I don't know who owns it.
Just a letter, just a letter,
Contact the people and ask them
just a
what
letter
their
stating, can you have
intentions are.
somebody secure the residence? I mean, nail the window shut, I don't care. Plywood them up or whatever, but, the house we're talking about, the windows were open.
Yeah.
And somebody had been climbing through the window, well, the doors were unlocked.
The one that we had downtown that we finally got them to tear down, I mean, that house was literally collapsing on itself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, at some point, with no maintenance,
Yeah.
they
They did.
Well, anything that's in foreclosure also.
Is
Right.
there, so the foreclosures is easy, you work with the bank or you work with the
Right.
lien holder, that's easy. But the ones that the property taxes are current on, that's the more concerning ones. And from experience, the one on Meadow Road, in the area of, was that Mad Mountain and such, so.
Yeah,
one of the
that's
cars
the one
out
we're
in front.
talking about.
Right, so that one, taxes are current on, and from experience, I know every once in a while, the door will open up and we'll get numerous calls on that. And then someone will make contacts with someone, leave a message, but nothing ever happens, the state of that continues. Is it something worth looking at a town ordinance on, that even though your property taxes are current, we're gonna put a lien on your property because we're gonna spend money to go make that safe in the interest of public safety, and that, but you've attached the lien on that, and I don't know if this is legal now, I'm just throwing stuff at a wall, but you're making the property safe for the public as a whole, but you're still you're still going after the property owner to foot the bill for that. Is that something that we wanna run by the lawyer? Because the banks is easy, it's those that are up to date on
Right.
property taxes, it's not gonna be so easy.
Yeah.
I think you're right. The legal term is an attractive nuisance, right? I mean, it's sitting there vacant. Bunch of kids walk by it every night, one kid gets daring the other kid to go in, pretty soon they're in the house and they get the place on fire or something, but, we have nothing in our ordinances right now to cover that. But I think at least initially, what we should do is we should get a list of all these abandoned houses. Find out who's paying the taxes on it, contact those people and say, what's your intentions for this building? We notice that it's sitting empty, it is a good time to be selling property,
That dumbfounds me, I don't understand it.
Most of them.
Most of those are abandoned,
Yeah, I think most of these
it would
buildings.
be gone in an hour. It's.
Yeah, I think most of them will fall under our ruins.
yeah.
I really do. I think most of these-
When they get bad enough.
Well, I think most of them, well, maybe not exactly this one, but it is now.
Yeah.
Right?
Once-
I think we should
Once you
just
can see the
reach
roof
out.
starting to cave in or something, then we
Yeah.
can do something about it, but until then,
Right, but I mean, if they're not heated and the pipe's broke and it's not, what I'm wondering is if we could use our ordinance that we have to initially scare them, or do we, get them into compliance?
it would certainly be worth sending a copy of the ordinance with a letter to the people.
I mean,
saying,
Right, most of the ones you're speaking of most of them have no power, the water's off, no heat. I mean, they're really,
Plus they're an
Like
eyesore,
what-
plus they're an eyesore in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
because they're not.
Well, but the one we're dealing with is not. I mean,
No.
you'd never know it by driving by it.
right,
But it's, once you get in there and you go,
that's why it's power,
holy moly.
that was power.
He said it doesn't.
No, it doesn't have power. So the meter's still on, but there's no power in the building. All the pipes are blown, there's just, we're not sure if USDA is paying the electric bill too, but if they are, then they're getting robbed, because nothing works in it, so. Fire marshal called it weird. He said he couldn't understand it, so, and he'd been there 20 years. So whatever if somebody was there and had to put the fire out after it got going, to prevent it from, it ran out of fuel, but boy, she was cranking pretty good.
What they used to put it out?
I have no idea.
We'll move on, thanks, Glenn.
Yep.
Marla's not here,
No, she said she would be here.
she knew the time, right, 6 o'clock,
I assume so, I mean, I think she's on
do you have
the.
her number? Do you have anything on the old business other?
I was just gonna say that, John Hens came in the other day and, on Friday, and he's officially retired. So.
John
he's-
Reed is.
So send him maybe a thank you card for all his.
That's a great
service,
idea.
'cause he was.
We have
he was a
cards.
He was a little melancholy,
Yeah.
little sad.
Did you want his job back?
No, he said no.
Oh,
Let's not get that on the air too much.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's well known.
What's that?
It's well known.
It is well known.
I know, unfortunately.
Did Danny have
But I've had 2 or 3 phone calls from people that would not give me their name and wanted to know if we had a replacement yet, and I've always said, oh, yeah, sure. Pete Smith, George Jones, whoever. I'm not gonna tell anybody that I don't have one.
This is recorded.
Right.
I know, but they can't hear us anyway. Anything on the new business?
Did you, Kim, do you wanna touch base? I mean, I don't wanna,
Oh, right.
yeah, tell me what you want, so at the next meeting, we'll do
We'll
the
do,
expense
the
details.
expense detail on where we are as far as, money for every,
Yes, fine.
budget, and then also do the
Yes.
bank
Are you,
reconciliations.
I did sign this one, I know.
The Candace did for taxes?
Yeah.
Yep,
Well, the general ledger,
yep, that's for taxes,
Yeah.
property taxes.
and,
No, it's the select board meetings are Monday.
I know we're supposed to make this official, the select board meeting, I don't know if I know the terminology we're supposed to do.
I would take.
Oh, that's
I
okay,
would-
let me, can we do this at the next meeting?
What Candace does is prepares the, you know,
It's on a Tuesday, I don't know what we're gonna be,
it's the receivables and the,
Yeah,
I don't know.
guys,
what's still out.
she had the wrong date, so is the next meeting okay?
Sounds good, Tuesday.
It's a Tuesday,
Day after.
19th.
the 19th.
Okay,
So,
the auditor suggested.
That's right, they're normally Mondays, but Tuesdays, Monday the 18th is a holiday, so it'll be Tuesday the 19th.
It's on Tuesday,
Okay.
right?
Okay, okay, okay.
No, I say this is on TV, right? If she asks her how her cats or kids are.
Nobody heard that.
Okay,
Yeah, I know you are.
all right, the auditors asked us to officially okay the general
No, the
ledger
19th.
detail report every month. And Jason looks it over and signs it as per our
Requirements.
requirements.
Okay, good.
And, but the auditors said
Yeah,
that we
yeah,
should
we'll do
officially
you right ahead.
okay it every month. So I would entertain a motion to okay the general ledger detail report.
Yeah, and figure out, yeah, and figure
I'll
out what we
second
want to do. Yep,
Those in favor?
cool.
Allison?
And it's in the,
Okay, great.
it's in the
I can't hear what it
folder.
was, but I'll just raise my hand.
So it's in the minutes.
This
that,
basically is the receivables and everything, the taxes, and shows, we're all good.
So she had Thursday written down,
Oh,
so,
Okay,
but she'll come the 19th.
all right. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Oh, Glenn?
Sorry, you had told me, we're gonna talk about the fire chief's job?
We initially, we looked at the resumes tonight initially. We're all gonna study them, and we are going to be scheduling in time for interviews.
Okay.
And I did give you recommendation.
Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure, we don't have a time, you know, there's no rush, I'm not trying to rush you, I'm just trying to get all ducks in a row and figure everything out, so I just wanted.
It'll be later this month.
Okay, if you wanna wait until June 1, that's fine, May 1, that's fine.
well, don't forget, we have town meeting.
Yeah, we've got a town meeting, so it may.
I'm fine with it as long as I don't have to talk at town
It
meeting.
may be first.
Oh, yeah, town
Friday
meeting,
can talk.
town meeting's before May 1.
I know,
Okay,
I know.
all right, so motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Roger. All right, this.
Slightly.